Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Do you know tomorrow is a very important day? It's a very important day. It could be a very important day in Indian history. It could be a day where a lot of things change in Indian politics. So tomorrow is the day when Nitish Kumar calls in the opposition leaders, and the opposition leaders, almost 20 parties and their party leaders, would be meeting in Bihar tomorrow. Let's talk about that. Let's get right into the show. So like I said, tomorrow could change history. Tomorrow could change history. Tomorrow could change the political scenario in India. Nitish Kumar has invited almost 20 parties and their leaders to come to Patna and talk about opposition unity. And that meeting is tomorrow. Now, the thing is, he's got a fantastic response too. The people who are expected to attend this meeting are Congress National President Mallikarjun Kharge, Senior Congress Leader Rahul Gandhi, NCP Chief Sharad Pawar, Tamil Nadu CM MK Stalin, West Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee, TMC National General Secretary Abhishek Banerjee, Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal, Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav, Shiva Sena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray's leader Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray, National Conference leader Farooq Abdullah, People's Democratic Party's Chief Mehbooba Mufti, Punjab CM Bhagwant Mann, and some left leaders too will be attending this meeting. So almost every top national stroke regional leaders are going to be part of this particular meeting, except for possibly Naveen Patnaik from Biju Janata Dal, Akali Dal. Most of them are expected in this meeting. So this is going to be a very important meeting. And if things work out in this particular meeting, like I said, things in Indian politics would change. Now, before we get into the statistics and all of that, before we get into analysis of all of that, let us first understand coalition politics in India. Let's first understand how it started, and let's understand what happened to coalition politics most of the time in India. Take it now. Okay, so let me start with 1967. 1967 was Samyukta Vidhayak Dal. That was the first coalition party that came about. You know why this coalition party came about? This coalition party was formed by a lot of Vidhayaks, lot of leaders from various parties against Indira Gandhi in Congress. So it was not so much of against Congress, but it was against Indira Gandhi. And this coalition was successful. Though they couldn't do much nationally, but they did make a lot of difference in regional politics. A lot of states were kind of captured by this particular coalition. So that was first Samyukta Vidhayak Dal, 1967. Now let's come to 1977. Now after that, in 1977, we saw Janata Party. Janata Party was formed after the emergency with Indira Gandhi, after the aftermath of Congress splitting into R, O and all of that. And primarily, Janata Party was formed against Indira Gandhi more than the Congress. Indira Gandhi again was the opponent. And if you remember, Janata Party was formed with Janata O, Bharatiya Lok Dal, Janasangh, Socialist Party and Congress for Democracy and all of that put together. Now the mentor for Janata Party was Jayaprakash Narayan. Jayaprakash Narayan was a huge figure those days, huge leader those days, and he was the mentor of Janata Party. And Janata Party, because it could never, there was a problem, there was a clash of ambitions, because a lot of parties put together formed to defeat Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi got defeated and they got the power, so they won the power, but in 1977, but then after that, immediately ambitions took over and they couldn't last for 3 years. The government fell before 3 years and Mrs. Indira Gandhi was back as the Prime Minister of India. Now this was Janata Party. Now let us go to 1989 Janata Dal. Again, another bad experiment. VP Singh had fought with Rajiv Gandhi, had a personal problem with Rajiv Gandhi, had alleged that Rajiv Gandhi was involved in a lot of corruption, started Janata Dal. Janata Dal too had a lot of parties with them. They had parties like Lok Dal, they had parties like TDP, they had parties like DMK, Assam Gana Parishad, so on and so forth. And together they called themselves National Front. However, this National Front also couldn't last. It collapsed. That was with their differences with BJP's Ram Temple movement and all that, it collapsed. For a short period, that is November 90 to 91, Janata Dal's Chandrasekhar was made the Prime Minister with the help of Indian National Congress's support. But that was for a very short period. So that's 1989, Janata Dal. Now let's go to 1996, which is BJP. If you remember, BJP Plus formed the government, collapsed in 13 days. That was under the leadership of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Now, after that, United Front was formed. United Front was formed with 13 parties, including Janata Dal, CPI, DMK, all these parties put together formed the United Front, but United Front also collapsed within 1 year. That also didn't work. Now, mind you, till now, all these parties were against either Indira Gandhi, Janata Dal was more so Rajiv Gandhi, and after that, BJP Plus and United Front and all were all against the Congress. All against the Congress. Now, 1998, National Democratic Alliance formed. Again, National Democratic Alliance, which is the current NDA, which is still functioning, NDA formed in 1998, and that too was against the Congress. 1998, they formed an alliance, but 1998, interestingly, 1998, there was one more thing. See, 1998, people came together with the NDA, people came together in the NDA because they were not only against Congress, but they were also against Sonia Gandhi, who was supposed to head Congress. So a lot of people said foreigner, foreign origin and all that. So it was also against Sonia Gandhi and the Congress. That's how 1998 National Democratic Alliance formed. And the parties concerned were AIDMK, DMK, TDP, so on and so forth. So that happened. 1998 under the leadership of Atal Bihari Vajpayee worked. It worked. It completed its tenure. 2004 was the UPA, the United Progressive Alliance. Now changes Indian history. So till all these years, the alliances were formed against the Congress party. UPA was the first time where Congress party and others coalition formed an alliance against the Bharatiya Janata Party. So tables turned, history turned, the direction of Indian politics turned. So United Progressive Alliance, we all know, headed by Manmohan Singh, and it completed its term. Then came NDA again, and then rest is history. So this is what the basic understanding of coalition in India is. Now let's talk about coalition and what are those essential factors that tomorrow these 20 parties should keep in mind before they say yes to coming together. Okay, the reason I spoke to you about all the previous coalitions in India and coalition politics in India and what worked and what didn't is because end of the day, they say history, you are meant to take lessons from whatever happened in the past. So I guess these politicians and these political parties should be taking lessons from what happened in the past. And what I mean by that is there are, I think, to my mind, 5 basic principles that these parties should follow, 5 points that these parties should ensure that they agree to tomorrow. If these 5 points, to my mind, are agreed tomorrow, then they can look forward for a fruitful and a long-lasting coalition politics or coalition government. So the 5 points I would like to mention is, 1 is a common minimum program. Common minimum program is basically the most important thing that keeps everything binding. You see, one of the things that I understand, and I can tell you this with confidence, is one of the things that Sharad Pawar spent a lot of time in during the time when he was forming this MVA, Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi, a lot of time he spent on was to create that common minimum program, because you had a Shiva Sena, which was a right-wing party, and you had two left-wing parties, that is NCP, his own party, and Congress. So what he actually did, and what really worked also, because even today, as of today at least, they are all together, is that strong common minimum program which they built together. And because of that strong common minimum program, mind you, Congress has come much more closer to Shiv Sena. Shiv Sena has come much more closer to Congress, and both of them, of course, are quite tied up with NCP at the moment. So this is the power of common minimum program. Everywhere, like in Janata Party, like in Janata Dal, everywhere where parties got destroyed, decimated, is because of a lack of a good and a powerful common minimum program. So the first thing that these parties should come together and formulate and spend maybe another 3 months is to create that common minimum program which everybody signs in their blood. That's the point that is required, because that will ensure that you have a strong united opposition. That's number one. Number two is clear leadership. Okay, see, politics mein you will say that, why should we show the prime ministerial face? Why should we fight with the prime ministerial face? Okay, all that is your strategy. Chalo, that is your strategy, how you think you should fight your elections. But internally, within these 20 parties and within these 25-30 ladies and gentlemen who are going to meet tomorrow, they should be very clear as to who is going to be their prime ministerial face. Because if they are not clear who is going to be their prime ministerial face, on the eve, if at all they do well, on the eve of forming the government, you will find a lot of parties trying to move out and trying to see better opportunities. So this is going to be possible. So internally at least, externally, I don't know. I am always of the opinion that prime ministerial face, a clear prime ministerial face always works for the party, but then that's my view. But internally at least, these political parties, when they are sitting together, should have a clear understanding and consensus on the prime ministerial candidate that they want to have in the center. So that is number one. That is number two. Number three is, you see, it is time that we keep ideologies separate from governance. You see, look at again going back to history. Why did Janata Party flop? Because of ideology. Why did Janata Dal flop? Because of ideology. Why did even BJP plus flop and United Front flop? Because of ideology. See, ideologies of their partners come in middle, and because of that, parties come crashing down. So ideology and governance should be kept very different, because ideology belongs to a political party. Government works on programs. Government works on policies. Government doesn't work on ideology. Government works on policies. And our politicians has to be mindful of this and has to be mature enough to understand that ideology and governance should not be intertwined or intermashed or whatever it is called. Okay, it should not be one. It should be kept separately. So that's another very important point. What we found out, what we learned from our past experience. The fourth point that I want to make is strategic seat allocation. Now, strategic seat allocation, why are you guys coming together? Why are these political parties coming together? These political parties are coming together so that they can win, so that they can compete with Bharatiya Janata Party and win the election. Isn't that the reason why they are coming together? If that is the reason they are coming together, then they should strategically sit and plan in such a way that they help each other win their seats when they are competing with Bharatiya Janata Party or its allies. Now, Amitabh Tiwari, political strategist, has done a fantastic data. He has thrown us some fantastic data, and I have got it from his website Political Baba. And I'll take you through these data. Now, for instance, Bharatiya Janata Party is competing with Indian National Congress on 190 seats, direct competition between Bharatiya Janata Party and Indian National Congress. Bharatiya Janata Party is competing with regional parties in 185 seats, direct competition of Bharatiya Janata Party and regional parties in 185 seats. 190 seats Congress versus BJP and 185 seats regional party versus BJP. The idea is that in this 190 seats, places where there is a direct competition between Congress and Bharatiya Janata Party, all the regional parties should focus on making Congress win. Other than standing as a third or fourth or fifth candidate, all these parties should be united behind Congress to ensure that out of this 190 seats, Congress wins the maximum number of seats. Number two is Congress. Regional parties, whichever regional party is dominating in that particular constituency, I think every other party, including Congress, should put all their efforts to ensure that that particular regional party wins in that particular constituency. And we have 185 such seats like this. And Congress versus regional parties, there are 71 seats, and regional parties versus regional parties, there are 97 seats. These are where regional parties directly compete with regional parties. The long and short of what I am trying to tell you through this graph is places where a regional stroke national party is doing well, then that particular party should be allowed to fight that, and there should be no other opposition party who is coming and competing against that party where the votes will split. So that's my point number one. My last point is this party needs this coalition needs a strong conveyor. Wherever there has been a strong conveyor, and we have seen it not only in India but all over the globe, parties have stood together. A weak conveyor cannot get the parties together. Currently, the two strongest conveyors that one can see, one is Sonia Gandhi and one is Sharad Pawar. Rather, I would say first is Sharad Pawar, second is Sonia Gandhi. Both of them have, are old now. They have got, they are not in the best of their health. So maybe they may not, though they are possibly the best candidate for the job, maybe they may not want to take up this particular responsibility. So now we have people like Nitish Kumar, who is putting up all this together. I think he has done a lot of, he has really taken a lot of effort. Nitish Kumar, who is putting all this together. People like Mamata Banerjee, who's senior leaders. They're senior leaders. People, and these two are also respected across the country. These are people who can now play the role of a conveyor, which means go above their own party and become a conveyor, become the head of this coalition, and also like a super leader, where every party would somehow listen to them. So that's going to be the fifth most important factor in tomorrow's meeting. And if these five things are taken care of, then like I told you before, a united opposition would be more or less a reality. And if it's a reality, then Bharatiya Janata Party would have to really work its strategy out and really ensure that they get themselves geared for a very tough match in 2024. Now, my last point that I wanted to make, which is beyond whatever these 5 points are. The last point is, you see, the question of whether Congress should lead this united opposition or not. You see, it is always better for a party like Congress to lead this united opposition at the cost of being called as a Congress whatever. I am still telling you, which is because I think it is a fact. The reason I think Congress should lead this united opposition is A, because Congress has the infrastructure. Congress is the only genuine, full-fledged national party in this country, which means they have offices, karyakartas, workers right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. They have pan-India, every nook and corner of India. That's why Congress is important to weave this opposition united together. That's number one. Number two is, let's look at basic math. Okay, these figures I have taken from Amitabh Tiwari's webpage, that is Political Baba. And he says that vote share of Congress in 2019 was 19.4%. And vote share of TMC, BSP, SP, YSRCP, that is YSR Congress Party, DMK, Shiva Sena, that is old Shiva Sena, that is Uddhav Thackeray Shiva Sena, the United Shiva Sena in 2019, Shiva Sena, TDP, all put together was 19%. So clearly, Congress has got a fantastic vote share in this country. Number one. Number two is, like I said, their presence. And thirdly, Rahul Gandhi, Whether he could be the prime minister, not prime minister and all that is not the debate that I am getting into. But Rahul Gandhi is the second most known name after Narendra Modi. Let's face facts. He is the second most popular name after Narendra Modi. So all these put together clearly makes it clear that Congress should be, deserves to lead the, as Amitabh says, deserve to lead the opposition in 2024. So this is the point that I want to end with. Let's watch out what happens tomorrow. It's going to be important, and let's hope things work out for the united opposition. Till I see you next time, that's tomorrow at 10. Namaskar.